Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. I thought I'd pop up here real quick and just do a quick update as to what has happened so far. If you watched the last video, you know I had to cancel all of my Mayo appointments because of the situation that crept up with the car. So anyway, I was able to get that in today. Come to find out that yeah, that it was just inspection that had to be done. So last week's payment has been processed. I just need to get this week's payment together. So I'm going to be starting back working on that tonight. As far as the appointments are concerned, those have all been rescheduled for December 2nd. So, I just explained it to them, what happened. Not much you can do to avoid and so forth. So, and I had to get that taken care of. So, yeah, well, mark your calendars, December 2nd. It's going to be all day. So, pretty much starting at what was it? I think 9:45 in the morning, something like that, going all the way into the afternoon, late afternoon. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a long day that day. So anywho, and they also added another test in there as well. So it's like okay, which I get. I think I know which one that is, and I think that with the other tests that I had. Or the other video, excuse me, I talked about the pregnancy test, or and I'm like, oh, this is bullshit or whatever. But I'm like, okay, I'm understanding some things better now after having my appointment with the respiratory therapy yesterday afternoon. So I'm like, okay, we're just gonna run with it. So I'm understanding a lot of things a lot better. So anyway, speaking of the appointment for yesterday afternoon, I will not be doing respiratory therapy. A reason why had shown up, and I was just like, hey, what all is involved in this, and so on and so forth. I explained to her everything that's been going on, especially, with this mess here and everything, and basically trying to find out, what it is that they're providing therapy for. It basically, what they're providing therapy for is strictly the lungs, okay? And she's like, yeah, and she's looking at my medical records. She's like, I'm not seeing anything as far as any sort of testing is concerned. And I'm like, well, I just had testing done at Mayo. And she's like, yeah, that's not showing up here. I don't have access to that. And I'm like, well, if I go into my account and let you see it, would you mind taking a look at those results? She's like, sure. So that's what she did. And basically, well, their form of testing is a little bit different as far as their scales or numbers were concerned. So she was just as confused as what I was with it, with looking at trying to research things. But then she found something that she recognized, and she's just like, okay, yeah. And she's looking at it and everything and all the levels and so forth. And she's like, your lungs are fine. So that tells you one thing. And it basically confirms what I have been saying the whole time. I don't have asthma. So the big question is, what are we dealing with? It's like she said, basically the best thing for me to do is to keep going back to Mayo, which I had every intention to do. Anyway, I just need to get through this situation with the car first. So anyway, yeah, we're doing that and everything, and going down that path. So she was able to cancel out yesterday's meeting, so in that way, because unfortunately, if with activating it, we had to go through the full 6-week thing, and then once it's completed, that's it. Okay, there's no going back, basically. And especially when it comes to dealing with insurance, and all that sort of stuff. So it's like, all right, she was like, let's do this, because really and she was also concerned with the sort of therapy that we would be doing. And see, I was looking for something that would take care of, this stuff over here and also the lungs, also. And she's like, no, all we deal with is the lungs. And with the therapy that they do, like basically the arm bicycle thing, you have to go one way and then back the other way. Well, even just trying to do that myself, just demonstrate, it was exacerbating this situation here, and she was concerned about that. And I agreed. I was actually the one who brought it up. I'm like, if we do that, it's probably going to wind up exacerbating. She's like, exactly. And what I really need is physical therapy for this. So that's basically what she was doing. And, after everything is said and done, like with Mayo, maybe if I can get in with a physical therapist for this, then maybe, we can revisit the lung situation. But we need to get this taken care of first. And that's why she wanted to be able to cancel it out. So, like in 3 months or something like that, see where we're at. If at that time everybody decides, yeah, it would be a good idea for me to get the respiratory therapy done, then we can revisit that. But at this point in time, the only exercise that would be available for me to be able to do with them is walking. And I'm like, well, all I have to do is get off my freaking lazy ass and get out there and do that. And she's like, exactly. So what's the point of me going there? In other words, about all that they would be doing is measuring. And it's like, okay, but I need to find out, how can, and that's what I told her. I feel like I need help. I told her I was doing the yoga stretches and so forth, but I feel like I'm injuring myself even more because it's getting worse. And I need guidance on finding out, okay, what should I be doing for this where I am not hurting it more. So she's like, got it, I understand. And she agreed also. So but it's like she said, keep going to Mayo, because at the same time we need to research this also to make sure there's not something else underlying that's going on, something like fibromyalgia, something autoimmune that is happening, so on and so forth. So that's why I got to go back, which I don't have a problem with doing. I really didn't. Yeah, I'm skeptical and so forth, but it's like, no, I need to go back, at least to see the pulmonologist, to see what they have to say, but ultimately it's like, no, we need to progress, keep going with this. And the reason why I am going to go ahead and do the pregnancy test is part of this is a process of elimination. Okay, I was reading about fibromyalgia, and it's just like with long COVID. You have to exhaust. Once you there's really no testing that's involved with those two disorders. Okay. They're basically symptomatic, all right? And you can't be diagnosed with those until you exhaust everything else, okay? That's why we have to take the steps with, okay, we're eliminating pregnancy, all this sorts. Even though I haven't been sexually active since 2019, we have to eliminate that possibility anyway, because on the one hand, I am getting cramping in that area, but unfortunately nothing happens. So, and testing is showing that I am still getting my periods, but I'm not actually getting my periods. I'm still going through the whole cycles of everything, but nothing is happening. So that's why we have to eliminate, okay? Then once everything is eliminated and everything is come back either normal or what have you, then we can place a name on things, okay? And it's also good for possibly going for disability at some point also, if it winds up being warranted. which I would not doubt. Because let's face it, I am getting worse. So, and the question is, how much longer is my body going to be able to hold out with trying to work, keeping up with the car payments, so on and so forth, and before it finally just says enough's enough. So, just like with Saturday night, with what had happened, like I had said in the previous video, I was going strong, really good and everything, and then all of a sudden, bam! It was like surfing, basically, riding that wave, everything going great. It was a beautiful wave and everything, and then all of a sudden, bam! Crashes down and topples on top of you. That's exactly what I was going through when all of a sudden, bam, I got horribly exhausted. Just all of a sudden, I just crashed and I couldn't do it no more. So, and that's one of the things that I was reading with fibromyalgia, with what one of the things that happens with people, and also long COVID. I've read about that with that. So, yeah. But we got to go through all of those processes of eliminations with everything before we can do some sort of a definitive answer. So, if you're going through something similar, what have you, similar things is what I'm going through, and you're not getting anywhere with like doctors and so forth, because unfortunately they're going to be sticking with what they're taught and not going outside the box and researching shit, it would be in your best interest to start looking at some of these things for yourself and find out, all right, is it resonating? Is it checking off boxes? Okay? And then start bringing it up to your doctors, show it to them. I realize that you're paying them to be doing this and everything, but unfortunately, they're human too. And they're just like us, showing up to collect a paycheck. And they're going to do as little as possible to get it, just like, you got some good doctors out there who will go above and beyond and everything, but let's face it, a lot of them are just as lazy as us. I know, it's sad, but it's the truth. So, do your due diligence, and if they still don't or whatever, say, see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Okay? That's my best advice for you. Or if you can, get into some place, like Mayo, Johns Hopkins, some place that does research. All right, and I'm not talking about a university hospital where you got a bunch of interns running around all over the place, all that sort of crap. I'm not talking about, places like that. I'm talking about who do actual research, okay? So, unless it's a university hospital, and they do research there, then by all means go for it. I'm just saying, get outside the box yourselves, okay? All right, so that's what I've got for right now and everything. I need, in hopes I can lay down for a little bit too, which I doubt if that's going to happen. I don't know. I'll have to see. So, anyway, I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all soon.